From my story, Bound. Shi Wang pushed her threadbare sleeves past her elbows and scowled. Every summer she darkened under the Shandong sun, looking like a shadow beside her pale mother. Alone in their quarters, she searched for her mother's most coveted shoes, hand-sewing for tiny feet. Careful not to snag the red brocade, Shi Wang could fit her toes, but not much else inside the opening. Because unlike her mother, she was never allowed to have 3-inch lotus feet. In her mother's cedar box, she found a fractured jade pendant, paper money from America, and her parents' marriage certificate. She wondered if the broken jade had brought bad luck, if the fine lines ran straight into her mother's heart. She held the yellow photograph of her father under a beam of light. Her mother always told her that she was her father's reflection. The shape of their nose promised strength and good fortune. Hers as well were his lips and forehead. Shi Wang thought herself lucky to have been raised as a boy, to have the freedom to walk where women do not. Being a man, her mother taught her, was the only way for Shi Wang to have a life of her choosing. But lately, Shi Wang wondered what it would be like to walk how women walk, wear silks instead of cotton. She wanted to tuck blooms in her hair, which would certainly not be shaved to the crown if she could be a girl. But Shi Wang did not need to pray. The truth grew unpermitted on her body, and it would not be long before people used their eyes. The boss had begun to look at her with a sidelong squint, the way he looked at her mother and the other powdered women in the hall. She had never met her father, but she ate and drank her mother's stories about him, so her boy self knew what to become. If Shi Wang had his face, she might as well have his heart and mind. She often caught her mother beholding her with great love, though it was not her she saw. She liked to hear about the time she was just a seed in her mother's womb, the 3 of them sailing to America toward a dock in纽约. But she always stopped the story before it ended. When America turned her mother away, along with all the other Chinese women, the fairy tale became a fable. By letter, her father told of an immigrant who arrived in San Francisco with nothing but purpose. This man scrubbed washrooms and mopped floors and wiped tables, and within a year bought the restaurant. So her father worked his way across the country, city to city, one hot kitchen after another. He was dismayed to learn that hatred of the Chinese had followed him from the city of New York to the land of San Francisco. At least the Bikeway in California did not accuse him of dining on rats to his face. Mostly, stories of his travels were pleasant. Shi Wang knew about chop suey, the popular dish in San Francisco known in China as 杂碎, leftovers. She never doubted that it was more honorable to feed thousands rather than just 2. She was the one who had to care for her mother, as good sons do. A few years ago, a great fire blackened her father's adopted city. The earth ruptured along a seam, for a time restoring wilderness and renewal by way of destruction. Shi Wang remembered the pain she felt in their shared heart, and how afterward there were no letters, no money, no indication he was anything but a hope. Soon after, her mother began to enter long spells of sleep, lying on the bench where she used to sit. When she trembled, Shi Wang melted the sap for her and kept the pipe clear, but she did not smoke it herself. The poppy is for those with nowhere to go. Now, as her mother dreamt, Shi Wang gently removed the binding around her mother's feet to wash them in warm water. She imagined that these folded feet were hers, and that she too was desirable. Oh, how the men would arrive in waves, offering silver for a glimpse of Shi Wang's beauty. How she would allow the most handsome to look upon her in private, where there was a gown and where there was not. A man's voice broke into her thoughts, and she turned to see the boss's back, and by her feet, the bundled package he had thrown. Her mother's face betrayed nothing as she touched the postage, held the American money, and read the careful handwriting. Then she rose so slowly, like a heron parting with the lake. Her mouth began to quiver, so she hid it beneath one hand. Shi Wang rose also, on legs that couldn't straighten. "Where's my trunk?" her mother asked, trying to see past the sweet smoke behind her eyes. "Find it. You will need it. And your papers. Here, take them." The words disappeared inside the cave of her hand. "Are you listening? Can you hear me?" Shi Wang took the documents which had fallen from her mother's lap. "I'm here." Her mother's slap knocked her backward. "Idiot! If you don't deepen your voice, you will be discovered. Do you want to be a woman? Do you want to be left behind with me?" The terror which had been pooling in Shi Wang's belly for years ignited. "I can't go without you," Shi Wang yelled. "I have to take care of you. There's only me." They huddled in the corner while the sun and the moon and the stars shifted in the sky. Later, Shi Wang found her mother drowned in the tub, the sticky residue of opium on her fingers. Thank you.